El Imperfecto. This comes from Navegando 2, capítulo 4. Please open your libro de práctica and let's begin the notes over the imperfect tense. Okay, el pasado. We've talked about the past tense this year with the preterite tense. It was one of the very first things that we learned at the beginning of first semester. The preterite tense is used for completed past actions, and in English, it's a lot of times verbs that end in ed. So like, I walked to the store last night. You danced in the street at the party. Completed past actions, things that have a specific beginning and ending, things that happened one time and that were over. In this chapter, in chapter 4, we're going to learn about a second past tense that we have this in English also. It's just expressed a little bit differently. It's called the imperfect tense, and it's used for ongoing past actions. So was blanking, were blanking, and used to blank. So I was dancing when I tripped and fell. They were shopping when the police came into the store. I used to go to my grandma's house every summer. Ongoing past actions, things that didn't have a specific beginning and ending, events that were happening and got interrupted. At this point in the game, you aren't going to have to differentiate between the preterite and imperfect. I'm going to tell you in chapter 4 that you're going to be using the imperfect tense all the time. When we get to chapter 5, we'll really talk about the difference between these two, but I just wanted to go over it briefly so you would know why it is that we're learning a second past tense. Okay, los verbos AR. So here are your AR verb endings. So they're a little goofy sounding, so here we go. Yo haba, tú habas, él usted haba, nosotros habamos, vosotros habáis, ellos ellas ustedes haban. So what do these look like when they're attached to an actual verb? Pretty crazy. Here we go. So here's the verb hablar, already conjugated for you. Hablaba, hablabas, hablaba, hablábamos, hablabais, and hablaban. It sounds almost like a fake language when you're speaking this because it's a little bit goofy, but this is I was speaking, I used to speak. You were speaking, you used to speak. That's exactly how this verb tense translates. Okay, wouldn't be complete if we didn't have los verbos AR y IR. Okay, these guys share the same conjugation, ia, ias, ia, iamos, iais, ian. And here's an ER verb conjugated for you, the verb comer. Comía, comías, comía, comíamos, comíais, and comían. I was eating, I used to eat. You were eating, you used to eat. And then the translation, when you need to decide between was eating or I used to eat, will just be based on the context of the sentence. Okay, so that's how you'll know how to translate it in your head. Okay, los verbos irregulares. This is everybody's favorite verb tense because it only has 3 irregular verbs. I know you are going to be super stoked about this, but there are only 3 irregulars. So, ser, era, eras, era, éramos, erais, and eran. Verb ir, iba, ibas, iba, íbamos, ibais, and iban. And then the last one is the verb ver. Veía, veíais, veía, veíamos, veíais, veían. Okay, so ser, ir, and ver. Other than that, all of the verbs are completely regular. So estar, tener, all of our, repeat offenders that are irregular in every other tense are completely regular. Ser, ir, and ver are your only irregulars. Hallelujah. Okay, los tiempos verbales. Why on earth do we have all these different verb tenses? I'm going to give you some examples so that you can kind of see what the difference is between the verb tenses, why we need all these different ones, and how they look in English. Just kind of line it up for you. So, very first thing that you learned in Spanish 1 was the present tense. I walked to the store. Yo camino a la tienda. Okay, you know that in the present tense, this is your o, as, a, amos, ais, an. Regular, plain old conjugation. Here you can see that the verb caminar has been changed to camino. Easy peasy, we know that one. Okay, the second thing that we learned, I am walking to the store. This is the present progressive. Yo estoy caminando a la tienda. So caminar has been changed just a little bit differently, and we've added a star in here as well. Next, I'm going to walk to the store. This is the false future, or ir plus a plus infinitive. Yo voy a caminar a la tienda. I'm going to walk to the store. So when we're talking about going to, that's the false future. When you want to say I will go to the store, that's considered to be the true future, and we'll talk about that in chapter 8, so don't worry about it now. Okay, the preterite tense, this is what we learned earlier this semester, or last semester, excuse me. I walked to the store last night. Yo caminé a la tienda anoche. And finally, next, walk to the store. We learned a command form, so this would be like in the usted command form. You, sir or ma'am, walk to the store. Caminé a la tienda. Okay, and then finally, today's verb tense, the imperfect tense. I used to walk to the store every day. Yo caminaba a la tienda cada día. I'm hoping that this gives you kind of an idea of everything that you know how to do, you know how to say, up to this point in the game. If you have questions about this part in particular, or anything over the imperfect tense or verb conjugation, please make sure that you write it down. I'll be more than happy to go over it for you in class tomorrow. Thanks.